Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, 10 to Life. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elise and I am bringing you full true crime cases in under 10 minutes. None of the empty plot lines, none of the boring stories, just the true crazy facts, the twists, the turns, the insane details, all in under 10 minutes. So if you like the video and you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel below. Feel free to like, to comment, to share, and let's just get into it. All right guys, so before we jump into this case, I do have a simple request from you that you can please, fingers crossed, help with. This one is so ultra important. It needs attention. Comment, share, talk to your friends about it, send the link to your friends. We need as many eyes as possible on this case because it needs attention. The mother has been trying so hard for years to gain attention onto this case and get this solved. So please, let's help her out and let's get this out there in a bigger way because between all of us, I mean, there is power in the internet, right? We all know it. So let's work together on this one. This is the one that needs your help and that needs your attention, and we need to get the word out there. Okay, so let's jump right in. Kyron Horman is a little boy in the second grade from Portland, Oregon. On June 4th, 2004, he was so excited to go to school because it was the science fair, and he had done his project and he was so excited to go to see his friends and participate in the fair. He got dressed that morning wearing a CSI t-shirt. He was super excited talking to his stepmom about it and couldn't wait to get to school. His stepmom, Terry, takes him to school. She walks him into the school before he goes to his classroom, takes a photo of him standing so proud next to his project, and then watches him walk into his classroom. Little did anybody know that the photo she took of him standing next to his project was going to be taken 1 hour before he disappeared. So Terry, Kyron's stepmother, and his father go to pick him up from the bus stop that day after school, except after all of the children come off of the bus, they don't see Kyron anywhere. So they ask the bus driver, hey, we're waiting on our son, we haven't seen him, what's going on? And he says that Kyron never got on the bus that day. So that immediately raised a little bit of concern. So the bus driver calls the school and they say he was actually absent from all of his classes that day, which was very odd because Terry took him to school, dropped him off, and watched him go into his classroom. Reporters and volunteers immediately assembled what they called Camp Kyron, where they were putting together a search party, they were putting together flyers. Everybody in this community really came together trying to spread awareness about this little boy who was missing and trying to find him as quickly as possible. There was so much attention around it that it actually became the biggest case in Oregon state history and still the biggest to this day. This case was so big that for the next 3 months, it literally was front page news on every single local newspaper for those full 3 months. When the search first began, the family was a united front. They had Kyron's stepmom, Terry, who's the one who dropped him off at school, his biological mother, Desiree, and also his father with them. And they did all these media press conferences. They were out in the community trying to bring awareness and really just working together as a team to try to find Kyron. But shortly after this happened, things started to take a very interesting turn. On June 26, about 3 weeks after Kyron went missing, Kyron's father filed for divorce from Terry, Kyron's stepmother. He also filed a restraining order. Kyron's father had learned from investigators that 6 months prior, Terry actually solicited the landscaper in a murder-for-hire plot against Kyron's father, meaning she tried to hire a hitman to kill him. So he files a restraining order, files for divorce. This is 3 weeks after Kyron goes missing, and takes their shared daughter Kira with him and bolts. As police are continuing their investigation into Kyron's disappearance, they start to look into Terry a little bit more. So they learn about the murder-for-hire plot, but also some other strange behavior she started to have in the weeks immediately following the disappearance. After Kyron went missing, one of Kyron's father's friends assisted with the search aid, trying to help out, trying to figure out if there was anything he could do. Well, he and Terry then eventually started having contact with each other, and Kyron's dad stumbled across phone records that struck him as very odd. While they were in this big search party and this effort to find Kyron, she had been texting this man naked photos of herself, photos of her masturbating, and saying things to him like, I'm worried I'm never gonna get any again.
I can't talk, bugs in the house, in danger if I go outside. I want you so bad. I don't know what it is about you, but I'm very attracted to you. Give me 15 minutes.
This was a setup.
Okay, not exactly normal behavior when you're the stepmother of a missing child. First of all, it's not normal behavior when you're married to be doing that with somebody else, but for sure not normal behavior when your stepson is missing and you were the last one to have seen him alive. Police then start looking into one of Terry's friends, Dee Dee, and they determined that Dee Dee abruptly left her job the morning of Kyron's disappearance for 90 minutes. She left and then came back, but cannot account for those 90 minutes and where she was at. They also discovered Dee Dee helped Terry buy a burner phone. In total, Dee Dee was said to have cooperated with police during the investigation. However, when they asked her if she had ever met Kyron or to identify Kyron in a photograph, she refused to assist. She wouldn't even say if she had met him or if she recognized him, which is super red flag behavior. When they asked Terry, okay, what did you do after you dropped Kyron off at school? You say you dropped him off at school, you watched him walk into the classroom, then what was the rest of your day like between that point and when you went to the bus stop with his father? She said she drove around with their 19-month-old Kiera, ran errands, went to the gym, and then continued to drive Kyra around to help ease an earache that she had. So that was really the perfect excuse, because you can have this really long drawn out time to where you're saying, oh, I'm just driving, she had an earache, or the baby was fussy, I was trying to get them to go down to sleep, and there's nobody who can really corroborate your alibi at that point. But the only real option they have at breaking that as well is through traffic cams, maybe cell phone pings and records, but really all in all, it's kind of a blanket alibi. The police were positive that Kyron was in fact dropped off at school, because witnesses say they saw Terry drop him off, but there was one witness who said she did see Terry and Kyron walking away from the school together. She also said she saw two people sitting in Terry's truck that morning at the school. So police continue looking into Terry, looking into Dee Dee, looking into these two people who were in the truck. Nothing comes up. Dee Dee's cooperative, but they can't really break down what she's telling them as anything that's not factual, and they can't really implicate her in this crime or in this supposed crime. Terry continues to stay stone-faced and say she has nothing to do with anything, and she dropped him off and she doesn't know what they're talking about. Meanwhile, this whole time, remember, Kyron's father was out of the house at this point because he realized that Terry started to have some pretty odd behavior, especially when she hired a hitman to come after him 6 months prior to the disappearance. Police continue their investigation, and now years and years keep passing and they are not getting any real solid leads. And Desiree, Kyron's biological mother, actually does several interviews, and she says that at first she was a united front with Terry, but that Terry is a horrible person and that she is certain Terry is involved somehow. Meanwhile, over all of these several years that this investigation has been going unsolved, Terry has changed her name twice, moved to California, was arrested because she had a gun, and all in all has had a pretty spotty track record. And while she was never a formal suspect, the police did still ask her to take 2 polygraph tests in the beginning, which she failed. She later went on a talk show, and this is what she said as to why she failed those polygraphs.
I'm very hard of hearing, virtually deaf in my left ear, so I have to look at people when I talk to them to understand what they're saying. He was behind me when he was doing the first polygraph. One of the questions was Kyron in the truck with you? Well, there's a fail right there, because he was in the truck with me on the way to school, but not when we're leaving. Because he was in the truck with me on the way to school, but not when we're leaving. But not when we're leaving. So that one I can't even get right. And that was the one that I supposedly failed.
So when you look at the evidence in total, you look at Terry, who was the last person with Kyron. She dropped him off at school. She had these shady 2 people in her truck. She has her other friend who dipped out of work for 90 minutes and doesn't say where she went, bought her a burner phone. She had just 6 months prior to this disappearance tried to hire a hitman to kill her husband. I mean, all signs are pointing to Terry being a shady person and Terry most likely being involved. And the frustrating part for Kyron's parents is that there's no proof of this. Nobody is talking, nobody is sharing information, no real leads have been coming in, and now we're going on 10 years of them wondering when their little boy is coming home, if he's coming home, if he's safe, if he's hurt, what his situation is, and just the ache that must give you as a parent. This month marks the 10th anniversary of Kyron missing, and the reason in the beginning of this video that I asked all of you to share, comment, send this link to your friends is because Desiree, his mother, is so hopeful for information and for his return, or at least that justice can be served.
I know that 10 years later, that's slimmer and slimmer as an option, but I know too that it happens for mothers. It happens. Their kids get to come home. So I still am gonna hold on to that. Even though I know the reality of our situation and where we're at today.
I think he was taken from school. I don't think he's been in the area. I think he's out of the area somewhere. I think he's with somebody else. And I still will repeat that we don't have enough information to really tell us, whether he's alive or not. And there's really nothing conclusive in either direction. So we continue to believe that he's out there.
And unfortunately, when cases like this go cold after such a long period of time, there really isn't a lot of media attention around it. And it tends to fall on the side. Other cases take the front seat, other things gain attention. So it's really important that we continue to bring awareness to a case like this so that they continue pushing Terry, they continue leaning on the friends, trying to just hope that eventually they will crack and there will be some tiny bit of information they can extract to then lead them down a new path or a path towards Kyron or some sort of situation that will end with either justice or, in a perfect world, at least a happy end.
Just tell us, no matter how bad it is, just tell us. an endless roller coaster that we're on every single day.
If there's anything we know there's power in numbers. We know the internet is a powerful tool. So why not use it for good reason? Why not use it to try to help bring awareness to situations like this in hopes to maybe solve something? We've heard of podcasts leading to murders being solved or crimes being uncovered. So I'm not even saying that let's get to the bottom of it and let's solve this case, because I know that I'm not qualified to do that, and I'm sure the majority of the public is not qualified to do that. But what we are qualified to do, it's hit a button that says share, hit a button that says comment, or copy and paste the link and send it to our friends to just increase awareness out there. So Desiree, if you hear this, or if Kyron, any of your family is watching this, please know we are with you, we are behind you, and we are hopeful for his safe return soon. Thanks, guys.